breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, it is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you this evening. We got a good show for us tonight. We're going to talk about Apple sues OpenAI, accuses it of stealing company secrets. IBM loses $69 billion of market value in one day, in latest AI-fueled sell-off. OpenAI's growing challenges narrow its IPO window. Lucid Motors denies report it's considering bankruptcy. Anthropic's newest ad is creeping people out. Rumor: Avengers Doomsday is facing major problems. Film is a complete mess after shooting without a finished script. And finally, Moana is a Snow White level flop. That's pretty bad. Disastrous opening weekend box office leaves Disney bracing for a major loss. So we're going to talk about all of that. Before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Share the shorts around specifically. I get the most views on that, averaging between like 200 and 300 per short. Good retention. I have a lot of fun editing those, so make sure to share those to all your friends on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And yeah, I think I got all of them. Rumble. Yeah, let's just dive in. So our first story tonight, the New York Times: Apple sues OpenAI, accusing it of stealing company secrets. The two companies struck a deal in 2024 to offer AI services on Apple devices, but their partnership has soured. So this is actually looking pretty bad. Basically what happened is OpenAI allegedly was orchestrating a campaign of interviewing 400 ex-Apple employees using, I guess, like show and tell interviews. So it was like, all right, what do you have to show me? And so OpenAI's chief hardware officer, CHO, Tang Tan, was coaching this ex-Apple OpenAI engineer named Chang Liu to exploit this auth flaw that apparently existed, which is a skill issue, by the way. Apple better fire somebody. But Apple had this the authentication bug, the security bug, that allowed this former Apple engineer, Chang Liu, at the direction of OpenAI's CHO, to exploit. And apparently Chang Liu downloaded a bunch of like files relating to Apple files relating to aluminum and metal finishing techniques. Yeah. So that's kind of what happened. And there's this whole text chain where Chang Liu is like, oh, like he literally goes, lol, like laugh out loud. Like, it's so funny. I found this bug. Wow. Now I'm downloading their proprietary files. So yeah. So Apple's suing OpenAI. OpenAI is saying that they don't care about their secrets, about Apple's secrets. So this is looking pretty bad, especially because OpenAI is trying to IPO. So that actually looks really bad. Apple sent a letter to OpenAI in February to raise concerns that confidential information could be making its way to OpenAI's business improperly. Wow. So this was going on like since February. OpenAI did not respond. Wow. OpenAI's nascent hardware business now rests on the shakiest of foundations, rotten to its core by its illegal reliance on misappropriated trade secrets, Apple wrote in its lawsuit. So this is kind of quite a big story here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if the allegations are true, which, there's kind of overwhelming evidence. Yeah, I mean, OpenAI is kind of cooked. Their IPO's kind of cooked. The Wall Street Journal, OpenAI's growing challenges narrow its IPO window, plus Apple's legal sparring and Wall Street's problem with AI drug discovery. Yeah, so I guess it's an op-ed, and it's kind of discussing after surviving an attempted ouster 2 years prior, Chief Sam Altman had carved OpenAI into its nascent industry's undisputed king. Yeah, until like Anthropic came out with Claude Code. And yeah, so it's kind of discussing that a little bit, but I agree with Asa Fitch that the the IPO isn't looking too good. I mean, Elon Musk, props to him. He just kind of essentially just like pulled up and grabbed that IPO by the balls. I mean, he made it over the finish line here. So, I mean, OpenAI and Anthropic neither of them have IPO'd yet. So, the Wall Street Journal, IBM loses $69 billion of market value in one day in latest AI fueled sell off. Shares of the corporate stalwart plunged 25% as AI purchases crowd out traditional tech spending in many companies' budgets. Yeah, so that's a huge drop. Shares fell more than 25% Tuesday, the largest one-day drop on record after the company issued a rare profit warning, citing a shift in customer spending from software to AI hardware and memory chips. Yeah. A preview of the toll corporate America's AI bills may take on software spending. Yeah. So tokens are kind of more expensive. It's in this article specifically, it's talking about how chips are more expensive, right? GPUs specifically. Apple actually had to raise their MacBook prices a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So that's not looking too good. TechCrunch. Lucid Motors denies report it's considering bankruptcy. Wow. It's kind of funny because like a few months ago, I was like, oh, just dissolve the company. I think I literally said that. And they literally are dissolving the company if this rumor is correct. So, I mean, how can they not, right? I mean, Tesla kind of has taken the cake, right? I mean, like, especially not specifically with like EVs, because I know BYD is like kind of, emerging here. And if not for the tariffs, would probably be the number one EV in America. And now it's like kind of starting to take a foothold in Europe. Dominates the Chinese market, BYD. But yeah, I mean, Tesla is definitely gonna pull ahead with like Optimus, in my opinion, as well as just like self-driving cars, autonomous cars. So yeah, so they're starting to kind of roll out their unsupervised FSD, and I mean, I've personally seen a couple like cyber cabs. So yeah, I think that's kind of I mean, like when Tesla is so far ahead, like does it make sense to continue operating as a Lucid? Probably not. No. Let's see. The company has sufficient liquidity to carry out its operations well into the next year, as recently published in its last quarterly filings, and it has not formed any special board committee to explore the scenarios reported today. Lucid's denial comes after the stock price sunk more than 50% on Tuesday. Wow, everything's just dropping, huh? Anthropic's newest ad is creeping people out. TechCrunch. Wow. Yeah. It's basically this video. And then it's not gonna play audio, it doesn't matter. Well, you know what? Actually, here, let me play the video and then I'll comment on it. So give me a second.
Can AI be trusted? Who's going to hit the brakes if we need to?
How do we really ensure that what we're aiming to achieve really does benefit the majority of people?
If it ends up taking like almost all the jobs, then what does it mean to work?
Oh, wait a minute. Why do we have to have this stuff? If a machine can pretend to care better than I can actually care, how do we draw the line there?
If we all had a voice in it, then I feel like it would be better.
Could AI help people stop feeling misunderstood?
Could AI help me build more connections in the community?
Can AI help me be a better teacher, a better mom?
Maybe it'll cure some great things, Things that we're not even at the cusp of understanding yet.
Will it create a group of people that ask more questions?
What if we started to be more human again?
We don't want to lose the most beautiful parts of life.
That's crazy. Here, let me get my original thing back on screen here. Yeah, so about the ad itself, I mean, people are saying it's incredibly creepy. The ad begins with a burning house, pivoting to a series of still images. These images include a crowd of people being surveilled by facial recognition, a homeless person sleeping on the street, rows upon rows of tombstones in a cemetery, and what appears to be a group of laborers toiling in a mine where presumably raw materials for smartphones are being dug up. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of an unsettling AI ad rather. Clearly AI generated, if not 100%, probably most of it. Yeah, it is kind of funny though, because I guess it was, seen as like doomer-ish. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty doomer. I mean, that's eventually where things are gonna go. Like, I mean, I think Elon Musk has the safest outcome, which is universal high income when everybody's or like 90% of people are off a job and they don't have a job anymore because AI took it. I know everyone's kind of disavowing that, including all the big CEOs, like, oh, well, AI is actually not going to take humans as jobs, no, I'm still on that. Because like the output just increases so much that you don't need 10 people on the team. You only need one, right? So that's kind of how I see it. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if like universal high income is too socialist or not, but we'll have to see. That Park Place, Doomsday is facing major problems. Film is a complete mess after shooting without a finished script. So it's been rumored that this is what they were doing for a while now. Report claims that the editing process has become difficult. A longtime source allegedly told him months ago that Avengers Doomsday was already proving problematic during production. The report claims editors are now struggling to assemble the film after shooting wrapped. Wow. Marvel started filming without a finished script. Wow. Yeah, this is kind of bad. It's coming out in like less than 6 months and like there's not even a ton of hype out over it. Moana is a Snow White level flop, geeks and gamers. Disastrous opening weekend box office leaves Disney bracing for major loss. So apparently this is terribly opening to just 95 million worldwide. It's one of the biggest losses, financial disappointments. The reported $250 million production budgeted before marketing. Wow, that is just crazy. The math is becoming difficult to ignore. Yeah, with marketing, it's probably upwards of 500 million. Wow, it didn't even make like 1/5 of that. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I haven't cared about Disney for a long time, like Disney Marvel. Obviously this is like their own thing, not Disney Marvel, but just a remake of one of their 2016 Disney movies, Moana. But like, they need to give it a rest. They need to honestly, they need to pull a Lucid and just like dissolve. You know what I mean? Because they've just been producing flop after flop, really ever since COVID. And yeah, no one cares about Disney anymore. They've been in it for the ESG scores or whatever, but yeah, just people like moviegoers aren't turning up. So I guess they're just gonna keep failing until they eventually just bow out. What else are they gonna do? They should bow out right now. Film threat out of theater reaction to Nolan's The Odyssey. One mixed reaction, one quote disaster. Yeah, so apparently this isn't the new The Odyssey movie directed by Christopher Nolan isn't getting, well, it's been getting a lot of heat on X. Tom Holland is like saying, "Oh my God, go watch it. It made me like think about a lot of things," or whatever. And Elon Musk called him a cuck. And then he reposted that. It's like, well, you're not beating the allegations, sir. But yeah, so this article is kind of talking about how some early viewers were saying that so for this one guy, Alan, the portrayal of characters was lackluster. He saw Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, the rest of the actors. There was no real characterization, no effort. Wow, the muted colors, which are rather historically inaccurate, were off-putting for both of Film Threat's hosts. And the score for The Odyssey, which is normally quite stellar in Nolan films, was not as good as one would expect. Wow. Yeah, so this isn't looking to be incredible. We'll have to follow that. I think we're going to end it here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, as I said. Share the Reels and TikTok shorts around, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.